Hey guys, welcome to the stream space, or welcome back if you've been here before. It's been a big month for handhelds. Definitely a lot of hand holding going on. Okay, that was a bad joke. Anyways, so welcome to the stream space. We're going to talk about the kind of upcoming. This actually, I'm going to tell you before I start. I'm not necessarily biased. You can see a Series X in the corner there, like it's right behind me. I'm annoyed at what we are getting as a handheld from Xbox. Now, we've been hearing rumor about them doing their own handheld for a while now, and like I believe they did one before, but it was not. They never completed it. There was never any games made for it. Like, it didn't get past prototyping. But now they had started their own work on a handheld, but now they seem like they've kind of just taken a bit of a cop out here by getting a product that already exists and slapping a guide button on it and saying it's their system. And I'm sorry, that's not how that works. So I've done a review of the ROG Ally before with just the standard edition. That was just the very first one. Did that a while ago, and then we compared it to things like the Legion Go and the Steam Deck. And here we are about to get yet another ROG Ally, except it's the ROG Xbox Ally X. Bit of a stupid mouthful, just like the Xbox One X, the Xbox One S, the Xbox Series X, Series S. You get where I'm going with this, right? Klaxon is also annoyed by this. That's my bird in the background. She's very chittery. So we actually pulled up the specs here. Okay, people are talking about, like, what I was seeing on Facebook a lot is, like, and I'm in a few Xbox groups, which I'm actually kind of regretting being in, because I have just never been so frustrated with a singular group of gaming people because of the. It seems like maybe I just picked bad groups. I want to be clear, there's probably just bad groups that I picked, but like just total, like, elitist douchebag behavior, and it's frustrating to even be part of them, because none of them want to look at this objectively, because we were told we were going to get a handheld, and then we got their name slapped on somebody else's system, and they say, oh, here's your handheld. The only thing it looks like they're addressing on these really is the fact that they were so uncomfortable to use. Like the Ally X and the Ally, they have this design for their grips that are just uncomfortable. It's why I kind of gravitated toward either the Steam Deck or the Legion Go, to be specific. They were more comfortable systems. So I feel like the only thing I'm really going to get out of this is a more comfortable grip, but then I'm going to run into all the other problems I ran into with the Ally. So I would say, as far as the Ally went, I think I spent more time setting that thing up than actually using it. It was dockable, but the problem is that a lot of the games didn't like the drivers. The Z1, or I guess in this case it will be the Z2. It's the AI Z2 and the normal Z2, or Z2A, I should say. It's not going to be any different, really. It's still going to be a specialty driver, which some major game developers, they don't make their games with these in mind. So I can tell you, like, I have a client who I do a lot of game testing for his Legion Go, and it runs on the Z1 Extreme processor, which is the same one that the Ally and the Ally X run on. And I can tell you right now that modern games like Last of Us 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and even Modern Warfare 2/3/Black Ops do not like these processors. You will be faced with warnings about how the graphics driver is out of date or not supported. Most cases they'll still launch, but I can tell you right now with the Ally, I had to jerry-rig the driver for the graphics system, and then only then did it actually start the game. So we're going into some. Hopefully they're going to make some mods to this OS so it is friendlier to these other platforms. But seeing as how these games launch will be through other platforms and not necessarily through Xbox, maybe through Xbox Play Anywhere, but not through these other launchers like Steam and Battle.net and such. The only game I had an easy time with on my Ally was actually Diablo 4, which obviously is not that intensive of a game. It's pretty, but it's not that intensive. So I actually have the spec sheets for the Ally X and the Xbox Ally, but I also have the standard Ally X specs in front of me as well. So we'll kind of break them down a little bit, but I'm going to see if I can show you. CC display. Game. There we go. So, turned off the other captures because they're obviously not important in this case. But you can see, so I've got, this is the Ally X that we're looking at here. So it's got a Z1 Extreme processor with 8 cores. And the way that these systems work is that they don't have dedicated VRAM and dedicated RAM. They have a RAM pool that you can actually manipulate in some cases. I don't know if you can do this on the Allies, but I know on my Legion Go I can actually adjust that RAM pool to be either, like, I think it's like 6, it was like 3, 6, 8, or 10, but I could, or auto, but if you wanted like the best performance, like it seems like 6 gigs was like the way to go, and then leave the rest for the operating system and other operations. But they have a limited pool of RAM that you can manipulate, and these are, like, while this actually doesn't look half bad, I can tell you right now these are fairly cantankerous to use, and this is actually from experience. There's no fanboy hatred going on here. I may like PlayStation, but you know, I hope I'm gonna get more from Xbox. You know, I like Xbox. So the Ally X, which is the 2024 model, had 12 gigs of DDR5 RAM on the board. So again, this is memory that you share between the graphics system and the OS. So it kind of goes up and down. I can tell you when it did play Modern Warfare on the jerry-rig driver, it did... Sorry, Modern Warfare 2 specifically. It did play it just fine, but it would always tell me that I had the wrong driver or an unsupported one. So that's something to watch out for on the new one. They have like a fingerprint reader on them, which is kind of cool. And then obviously a Thunderbolt Type-C, which is one that processes video. Port on the top so you can dock it to your TV and such. These consoles run best in handheld mode, though. I'm not gonna lie, they are not always great for TV play. Just fun fact, not so fun. So you can kind of see, like, they do treat the analog sticks and such like a how would I put it? They treat them like Xbox controllers. So they do see them as an Xbox controller, which makes them particularly convenient for like doing emulation and such. But again, I prefer the Legion Go for this because it does have detachable controllers, whereas these do not. They also lack a touchpad or, you know, any way to really manipulate the OS outside of the D-pad and such, which Windows 11 is not always very friendly to that. So just something for you guys to keep an eye out for. It does have two full-size analog sticks, and I do believe these are Hall effect analog sticks, so that you at least not have problems with things like drift. It has Armory Crate, which I'm going to say avoid it. It is a terrible software. I found that it caused more problems than it solved, and it would honestly try to take over my settings all the time. The battery is where the Ally really struggled, and I honestly, to get any real time out of it, I had to plug it in, so it just wouldn't die in the middle of the game. So these two, this is the only difference between these two versions of the Ally is the storage. So it's 1250 for the storage, being 2 terabyte, and then 1100 for the 1 terabyte version. Now these are not even a step up in any way except for storage and RAM or not even RAM capacity. The RAM capacity is the same. It was, I think, 6 gigs. Sorry, 16 for the one that I had, and then now, I mean, for some reason it's 12. I don't know. Point being is that it is a RAM pool, not a dedicated set of RAM for each individual function, between the GPU and your actual general use of the system. Cool things about these is that you can dock them and use them like normal computers if you have a proper docking setup, but obviously, like I said, they do struggle a little if you don't got a good monitor setup, if you're trying to run into a TV and such. So that's just the first half of this. So these are the ones that are preceding the one that is coming up. So I wanted to go over the Xbox Ally X stuff as well. So we'll just pop over to the page I got open for that. So these are the systems. The Ally, the straight up ROG Xbox Ally, it's another mouthful system, is white, like the original ROG Ally, and then the Ally X is black. Now you can see the main difference physically between these, right? If you look at how these ones look, and then how these ones look, is the grips and the fact that they have an Xbox guide button added to them. They all come with Windows 11 Home because it's a very tablet-friendly OS. You can change it to Linux if you so choose, but these ones are designed for Windows 11, so I would probably just stick with that. So as you can see, they are dedicated like Xbox controller style control systems for the triggers and the bumpers. So that's kind of nice. These do have the more modern AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme processor. Again, my concern with that though is that we may see issues with the drivers not quite lining up to what a developer had in mind when they were making. Now I'm hoping by the time this comes out, some developers will have kind of smartened up and like make their games with these in mind, but I guess we'll see. So one of the primary differences, it seems, between these two is the regular Xbox Ally. This has the same storage, and it uses a 2280 M2, but it has the same storage as the original Ally, which is kind of a bummer. And then you have 16 gigs for a RAM pool. On the Ally X, you have a 24 gig RAM pool. See, this one gives me a little bit of hope. But again, I still feel like it's gonna cause problems. That driver I can tell you the amount of grief I had with that driver was enough for me to not really get much out of it. I really didn't get to play it much. I spent more time setting it up than I did playing it because it had a really crappy set of power features, and it was really annoying if you had to like sleep in the same area as it because the thumbsticks would stay on. And you could turn them off, but then the system was still running in the background. Like, upgrading and updating games was a pain in the ass. So this one does have 24 gigs, so, I mean, you could theoretically give 12 gigs of your VRAM up just for playing games. And you probably have a pretty solid experience that way. But then we got the added overhead of whatever customizations they're going to make to Windows 11, so hopefully they are optimized customizations and not, we added this overlay that you can use in addition to Windows. It's like just over top of it or something stupid like that. It has one of the smaller screens, but it is Gorilla Glass, which is kind of nice, and it's anti-reflective, which is also nice because the gloss on the original Allies was kind of frustrating. So it looks like we're getting kind of the same amount of ports. Not much is changing there. It's going to have an SD card reader. It had issues with the SD card reader, though, because it was in a position where the GPU was really close to it, so it would actually melt your card reader. So hopefully they've learned from that. The dimensions are identical by the looks of it, but the weight is a little different, so obviously the Ally X is a little bit heavier. The battery is just feeling like they're just kind of pulling a switch too, where they don't upgrade the battery or the screen, and then they release it and people are mad because they didn't get a good screen on it or a good battery. So 80 watt hours, okay, that's probably fine, but again, you're probably still going to plug it in when you're actually gaming on it. But 60 watt hours is basically what we saw on the Ally and the Ally X. So, I mean, you're not really getting much out of it. One thing I will say, and I'm noting on the included part here, is that it actually comes with its stand. Now, hopefully, it's not just a piece of cardboard, which is, like, don't advertise it as it comes with a stand, and that's all it is. For mine, for my Ally, it was literally just a thick piece of cardboard. That's all it was. That's the stand it came with. That was frustrating. It was better. I bought a dock, and I just used that instead when I wanted to stand it. So that's kind of what we're looking for. What we're looking at for these. Slapping an Xbox guide button on a system. So like the Lenovo Legion Go 2 is set to come out. I'm actually not sure exactly when or if it's even already out. It could already be out. But it already craps on this because it has 32 gigs of RAM. So you could split evenly between your VRAM and your standard use RAM, and it's going to have the Z2 Extreme processor instead of the Z1, which is what the current one has. It is a 2020 gaming handheld, but I mean, that's honestly when most of them were released anyways. Honestly, I am having a hard time being excited about this announcement, this specific announcement, because not only did they announce this, they canceled their handheld immediately after. Within a week, they canceled it. So if I was excited for them to do their own handheld, I'm not anymore, and I am actually this feels like a cop-out to me. And, I mean, some, Xbox fanboys don't seem to be very happy with that line of thought, and they really just want to love Xbox and every little thing they do. And I hear there's a lot of, chatter about Phil Spencer and how he ruined the company, but it's like, they've made questionable decisions since the Series X and Xbox One generations started. So, honestly, it doesn't surprise me that they've made yet another questionable decision. As far as the Play Anywhere component of this, it's games that are approved for Play Anywhere, so you won't be downloading many of your Xbox your actual Xbox games onto this. You will be playing them probably through a cloud service, and if they do install on this, I really hope that they're optimized. But the reason that most people are going to want one of these is because, obviously, it being a gaming handheld PC, you can actually go and grab the other launchers like Steam and Battle.net and Epic Launcher, and you can get all your games, even GOG. If it's an Xbox controller, if it sees those controller sticks as an Xbox controller, you will at least have the ability to play most things automatically. They will just automatically know what to do with those controllers, and that's the main benefit of even the Legion Go ones. It sees them as Xbox controllers. So these are fantastic little systems for even things like emulation. Like the Steam Deck is known for its emulation, but even the Windows ones are perfectly acceptable. So this has been kind of like my rant / reaction to what we were told about, the Ally and the Ally X coming out. And, I want it to turn out well, and I want it to be a good system, because them and the console war and all that, they're not winning as far as I'm concerned. I play my Xbox very little. I think as far as my Series X goes, I played Fortnite on it more than any other game that they've made for it. And that's really disappointing. I switched my Assassin's Creed games to Xbox for the modern generation, just so I would have a better reason to play it. So like Valhalla, I just finished that, but that game came out 3 years ago. So that tells you kind of where I am with this, is that I'm only just now getting into some of my games for it, and they could have done more, they could have done better, and I feel like this is not that. This is not more or better. This is a cop-out to something that already exists, and they're just slapping a guide button and saying it's theirs. And I really hate that. So, anyways, that's my review rant on the Ally X news and the Xbox handheld world. But hopefully I am wrong. And I won't be disappointed if I'm wrong in this case. I'll actually be pretty happy if this turns out to be an awesome system, and maybe they sort out some of the driver issues. But hopefully, fingers crossed. So, thanks for checking this out. It's kind of a first time type of video. I've never really done one of these before, but it's a little bit of gaming news for you guys. So thanks for checking out the stream space. I'm Pidera. You can find me over on YouTube, Pidera Space 74, over on Twitch, Pidera_74. And, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, do all those things because, it all helps to support the channel. But there are a couple other ways you can do that. One of them being our partnership with Debbie.gg. You can actually use creator code Pidera74, no spaces or anything, and you'll get a discount and we'll get a cut of the order. They also do, not just energy drinks, but they do hats, tumblers, sweaters, all kinds of cool stuff. I actually have one of their water bottles. You can also go to our eBay page, which we sell like collectible games and all kinds of cool stuff. If there's something there that you're looking for, you can pick that up. So that's ebay.ca/SV-retrotech. And the last way and the most direct way, of course, is our tipping link, which you can use to support the channel directly. And we will be able to throw you a shout out and, of course, let you have a say in some future content down the road. Thanks for checking it out, guys. And, again, hopefully I'm wrong. Let me be wrong, Xbox. Please let me be wrong. I'll catch you next time, guys. Take care.